"Well, good riddance," muttered Dwyn. As the duo reached the forest line, Jill raised her arm. With the snap of her fingers, dark figures emerged from the brush in a long, neat line. Audra flashed back to Greenlee's attack with shredded and weathered zombs. These were not those. They walked purposefully rather than shuffling. Like the zombs she'd met in the woods, these looked strong. It would be unlike anything they'd ever encountered before, and Audra suddenly wished they had done more to fortify their community. Audra noticed the zombs all carried weapons, despite the assurance that they could not possibly use them. They were too clumsy and uncoordinated as zombies. Was it just a scare tactic? She wouldn't believe it if she hadn't seen it with her own eyes. One of the zombies, a man with a rectangular face and a crew cut, pulled a grenade from his belt, released the pin, and rolled the explosive along the ground ahead of their attack. Audra and her friends scattered to avoid it. "Is this real?" asked Ryder, as the grenade came short of them and exploded into dust, sticks, and stones. It wasn't the best toss, but the fact that it could happen was amazing in itself. And they were in danger. The trio retreated back through the gates, which closed quickly on their tails, no request required. The guards, Marcos and Lionel, were seeing this too. Complex actions from zombies. "I know you were ordered to come forward, but we don't mean you all any harm," called out Ryder through the gate. A shot in the dark. "We would like to trade, to learn, to understand." No response, no reaction. Ryder tried another tactic. "Jack, Jill, stop this madness. Please, let's work together. Call off your soldiers." But they did not. They were nowhere to be seen. 20 or so encroached. The tar-lined chain-link fence would hold against 20 zombs. Hell, it would hold against 50 or more. But what kind of attack were they about to meet? Despite having seen one up close, Audra still didn't believe it. They must be humans posing as zombies to scare them, but Audra could see the purple veins webbing their gray faces. She saw the emptiness in their eyes, and she could see little issues with their stance, their swagger, their facial expressions. They might not be full-fledged zombies, but they weren't full-fledged healthy humans either. They were some hybrid. Audra called out to Marcos, who had a bow and quiver of arrows. He made eye contact. His eyes were wild with fear and confusion. She motioned to her own shoulder, then chose a zom. A half-zom? The half-zom's hair had been cut short. Someone had given him a haircut, and he walked without concern for his well-being, as if he didn't understand the significance of enemy lines. Audra wanted Marcos to hit him, but not in the head. Would it slow or stop him? Would it rile the group? Marcos gave a nod and took aim. The arrow came from above into his shoulder, blasting through his clavicle. His shoulder slumped as he was knocked off balance, but he didn't fall. Anyone would fall. Yet except for the long shaft emerging from his body, there was no other clue that the arrow had hit. She signaled again, and another plunged into his chest, missing his heart. There was no evidence of pain, discomfort even, just a distraction, a slowdown. In the realm of weaponization, they had all the benefits of zom and human, the ability to follow directions, perform complex movements, and the painlessness and fearlessness of zoms. She gave permission to let arrows fly.